Could you distinguish yourselves from some of the top gifted schools in Toronto, which are free, and independent schools?
I think that, you know, when you're looking at high achieving students, which many of us, I mean, that's what we love, having students who are high achieving and are going to thrive in our system and do very well. I think a number of the differences, the distinctions have been mentioned just through the access to co-curriculars, the access to teachers, the relationships that form within the schools. I think I can speak specifically about UTS and the fact that what I would argue differentiates our place from any other school that has, any other public school that has a gifted program throughout up to the top high school level is that our students are uniformly in that sort of category. They're not all identified as gifted through a psych ed assessment or anything like that, but they all are very eager to learn and very eager to be there, and that's quite different than most of the gifted programs, which are for certain courses they're gifted or enriched, or it's one day a week or every other day or whatever it happens to be, or they're embedded in a school that has a student body of 2,000 and they are 400 or 500 people in that school. For us, and I can only speak for us in this regard, but as a school of about 640 students, grades 7 to 12, it's a very tight, nurturing environment. It's quite different, and you have to speak to the students to really get a sense of that, because I didn't go there, probably wouldn't have gotten in, but the reality is the students can speak to that, especially when they first get there, speaking with grade 7s, when they've come out of whatever program they came out of, and when they are now there, and you know, we have a new group of over 100 there right now in the last 2 weeks. They talk about how different it is, how good they feel, and how excited they are to go to school and be there. And I don't think that's uniform in all the gifted programs. There are some very good gifted programs out there, but when it's a whole school that's on that trajectory, I think that really changes the culture and what's going on, and I think you'd find that in any of the independent schools, because they tend to be smaller in student body. The community can be much tighter, and it's a big advantage for the independent schools over the public schools.
What we found, the four most important reasons why our families were choosing our school were individual attention, a caring, safe, nurturing environment, high academic standard, and opportunities for leadership and development of character. When we look at children who are applying to our school who are gifted, we look at them no differently. You know, gifted means you learn differently, and we would argue that every child learns differently. Some of the schools here today would have individualized learning profiles for every single student in their school, whether you're gifted or not. We would just look at that student and say, you can go into a gifted program, and will you receive the same level of care, the same opportunities in terms of character education, co-curricular programs, leadership? Will you have individual attention? Will you be amongst boys and girls who have a mindset in terms of striving for excellence? You may or you may not, but a gifted child just learns differently than the child sitting beside him or her, and the reality is we all learn differently. So I believe our schools collectively can meet the needs academically of any child that's admitted or enrolled, and provide a lot more than a school that may have a gifted program per se.